Welcome to Business Legally. My name is Sharon Nambozo, and I'm a lawyer with experience of working with small businesses, startups, and young entrepreneurs. So this week, we're going to be discussing single member companies. From our previous discussion, you know that you could be interested in a business structure where you are the sole owner of the entity. However, a sole proprietorship, like we discussed, may not be the best option because of its limited liability, its lack of continuity. So if you intend to maintain sole ownership, but also enjoy the privileges of a limited liability company, a single member company is the solution. So what is a single member company? Like it says in the name, this is a company whereby the single member, the natural single person, is the sole shareholder in the company and they own 100% of the shares. So see, there it looks like it's similar to a sole proprietorship. Just like a sole proprietorship, you are the single owner, so it means that the decisions are made by one person. Now, what is different about a single member company? A single member company has continuity. So it means that embedded in its design is the fact that it has to continue even at the end of the natural life of the sole shareholder. So when you're incorporating this, you need to have a nominee director and an alternate nominee director. The job of these two people is to run the company or the operations of the business in case the sole shareholder is not available, maybe because of unsound mind, maybe if they run mad, or they're not in the country, or if unfortunately they die. So it means that the continuity aspect will be maintained in case this person is not around. And also another thing is that a single member company can be registered into a private limited liability company if the person chooses. So you are not limited. You know, if you have a sole proprietorship now, you can move to a single member company, and then later, if you choose and you want to, you can now register a private limited liability company. Now, a single member company has that sole shareholder who makes all the decisions. They can choose to appoint a secretary to help with the operations of the company or not. It's not mandatory. So this company enjoys all the privileges of a private limited liability company. For example, it's a separate legal entity, so it's separate from the owner. So it means that in case of default or any liabilities, the property or the assets of the individual are safe. Secondly, it can continue after the end of the life of the sole shareholder. So it means that if this person dies, the company can live on. So the business doesn't have to die with them. Unlike the sole proprietorship, where if the person dies, so will the operations and the business itself. Another thing is that it's more credible. If you're running a single member company, it is a company, separate legal entity. So it means you have credibility in the eyes of government, you have credibility in the eyes of lenders and other lending institutions, banks, even investors, because it is an entity that is separate from the individual. So unlike a sole proprietor, you have this privilege to enjoy. So it also means you have easier access to credit from banks because you have a clear reputation in front of these people. You have limited liability, your assets are safe. So all these privileges that are usually enjoyed by a private limited liability company, they're also enjoyed by a single member company, but so are the disadvantages. Unlike a sole proprietorship, which has easier ongoing compliance requirements, a single member company has to fulfill some corporate governance requirements. For example, it has to pass resolutions when making decisions because, like I said, a single member company is still a company. It has to make its decisions through resolutions. Another thing is that it's a bit more expensive to register compared to a sole proprietorship. So even when the sole member is still the same, it's a shared quality between the two, this one has to fulfill more registration requirements. So it will require a little more fees in registration fees to set it up. This is something you should keep in mind when thinking of how to register and what kind of business structure will work for you. So for my clients that I've always interacted with, most of you have preferred to register a sole proprietorship. Usually because you feel like it's easier. Number two, there is no requirement for you to have other people in the company that you're running the company with. So now, if this is what you want, but you want a higher level of business formalization than a sole proprietorship, then a single member company is something you can think about. But just like the advantages of a private limited liability company, the ongoing compliance is a bit high. It pays corporate tax. You have to file annual returns yearly, and it takes more time, a little bit more time to set up. It costs a little bit more to set up, but the privileges are also more. You're more credible in front of lenders and investors. You can build your brand for longer than your natural life. You can be able to transfer your shares, so it's easier for you to build more capital, attract more capital, and all those other benefits. So this is something that you should think about. And also, when you're incorporating a single member company, the process is always the same. You require 3 names, reserve 3 names in order of priority, and they'll pick up the best names, have the details of the single member, for example, phone number, email address, their national ID, what nature of business you're going to have. You're going to be running under this entity. You need to have the official contacts of the company. You need to have memorandums and articles of association, which form the constitution of the company. So all the requirements that are also used in a company also apply here. That's it from how to compare and contrast between a sole proprietorship and a single member company. Both are owned by one person completely. However, in a single member company, you enjoy the privileges of limited liability, business continuity after the life of the owner, unlike a sole proprietorship. So if you're interested in running your business like this is something that you could think about. Make your research and make a good decision that can sustain your business. So thank you. That has been it from me, Sharon Nambozo, and this is Business Legally.